Who wins when two of the biggest and deadliest xenomorph hybrids come face to face? The newborn from Alien Resurrection and the Predalien from AVP Requiem. In the red corner we have the newborn. The newborn was a human xenomorph hybrid creature born aboard the USM Auriga. The newborn emerged as a byproduct of cloning experiments conducted by scientists of the United Systems military, created when the cloned queen became contaminated with human DNA, granting her a second reproductive cycle using a womb and live birth. Instead of the queen that gave birth to it, the newborn viewed Ripley as its true mother. It was killed when it was sucked into space through a small hole in the hull of the smuggling vessel Betty. For weaponry, the newborn has claws for slashing with and crushing victims, as well as a powerful bite, but lacks the tail or an inner jaw, and in its place has a more human tongue. Strengths. The newborn is large in size, around the same as the Predalien. It was also strong enough to crush a man with its bare hands. Weaknesses. Compared to its opponent here, the newborn lacks the xenomorph's most powerful weapon, the inner jaw, and is less armoured as well. It is also less coordinated due to its awkward body proportions. And in the blue corner we have the Predalien, a hybrid of a xenomorph and Yautja that was born from the Scar Predator after he was impregnated by a facehugger during his hunt in the pyramid beneath Bouvet Island. The creature was responsible for terrorising the town of Gunnison by killing and impregnating the residents and producing xenomorphs. The Predalien was killed when a tactical nuke was dropped on Gunnison by Colonel Stevens, along with the wolf predator it was battling and other xenomorphs and residents still present in the town. The Predalien's offensive weaponry consists of its claws, tail spike and inner jaw, and for defence has a thick exoskeleton shell. Strengths. As mentioned earlier, the Predalien has thicker armour than the newborn and an inner jaw and tail. Weaknesses. None. The newborn and Predalien face off against each other. The newborn roars at its opponent and the Predalien snarls back. The newborn steps forwards and reaches out with its hands to grab the Predalien, but it jumps out of the way, keeping its distance, waiting for an opening. The newborn, being half human, is just as curious as it is aggressive, but the Predalien, being an actual xenomorph, is a self-aware killing machine from birth. Frustrated, the newborn roars again and stumbles towards the Predalien, hands outstretched. The Predalien sidesteps again and slashes with its tail spike at the newborn's abdomen, tearing a hole in its fleshy body. Enraged, the newborn raises a clawed hand and brings it down on top of the Predalien, knocking it off its feet. It quickly gets back up and pounces, but the newborn grabs it mid-air around its head and starts trying to crush it. But the Predalien uses its tail to slash at one of the newborn's hands holding it, and it lets go. The Predalien then jumps on top of the newborn and lands a few hits with its inner jaw before being thrown off. The newborn grabs the Predalien and brings its jaws down, biting into it, but the Predalien shakes it off. The Predalien begins to circle its opponent, trying to bait it into charging so she can get around to attack the back of the creature. The newborn takes the bait and lurches forwards, grabbing for the Predalien, but it easily outmaneuvers it and stabs it in the back with its tail. The newborn swipes but misses. The Predalien then pounces forward, grabbing the newborn's head and lands a headbutt between its eyes, killing it instantly. The victory goes to the Predalien. So I thought a fight between a Predalien and a newborn would be close, as they are similar in size and both really strong, as the Predalien was stronger than the Yautja and the newborn killed a queen with a single swipe. But in the end, I thought the win would go to the Predalien, as firstly, it has more weaponry with an inner jaw and tail, as well as it being an adult as soon as it molts, whereas the newborn, being half human, was more infantile in its behaviour, so wouldn't be as cunning with its attacks, and more of a lumbering brute, but the Predalien would show more finesse. As always, let me know your thoughts and remember to give the video a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.